Here it is, guys. The key to inner peace. Got it on Facebook Marketplace. It's crazy the deals you can get on there. But let's see what it opens up, you know. What is the key? Not what is the key. This is the key. But what does the key open? That's what I mean. Wait, this metaphor doesn't make any sense.
My beard. My disgusting beard. It's gone. I've unlocked self-respect.
Yeah. So, you guys probably have a lot of questions for me, and that is fair. And the first question you probably have is, Elliot, why is self-respect the key to inner peace? I think it's because, as Joan Didion writes in her essay on self-respect, that when you have self-respect, you give yourself back to you. You will have freed yourself from other people's expectations, from the crazy entropy of the world. When you're not relying on anything else to have respect for yourself, you are free to strive for who you want to be. And there, I think we find the best chance of getting that inner peace. Because the only person at the end of the day who is never going to leave you is you. So if you can respect yourself, you're going to be able to find consistent peace. But if you rely on others, if you rely on monetary gains, if you rely on this beautiful wife, if you rely on that Lambo, then it's all up in the air. But if you limit the number of things that you need to feel loved, to feel respected, then you're going to have a better chance at peace. What can you limit it all down to? At an atom-sized level, what is it? It's you. Because you're the one. You give yourself the right to feel loved. So why not make it a closed system? And right here, you know, you're always going to feel that self-respect. But it's like, how do you get self-respect? Well, Joan Didion says, character, the willingness to accept responsibility for one's own life, is the source from which self-respect springs. Let's break this quote down a little bit more. When she says accepting, I think you have to accept with confidence in yourself. And when she says responsibility, you know, responsibility was a word that scared me as a kid. Like, I don't want that crap. I think what responsibility is really getting at is your purpose. Like, why are you here? And so I think this purpose and confidence and accepting and going after that purpose are going to be at the heart of being able to respect yourself. So I'm going to lay out 3 things that will hopefully help you get closer to self-respect. And the first thing is going to be finding that purpose or responsibility in your life that you believe in, that's authentic to you. Second is going to be harboring the confidence and belief in yourself to go after that purpose and not give up on it. And third, which isn't really included in the quote, but I think is just something fun, is that you're going to form your own personal Jedi Council to help you get there. Before we move on in the video and get into each of those 3, I'd just like to make a little disclaimer that I am a white dude in America who is very fortunate to have a loving and affluent family who has basically given me everything I could ever ask for. So I'm on easy mode basically, and I want to acknowledge that. And I know it's probably harder for, you know, 99% of other people, but I still think you guys can do it, and hopefully me talking through it can spark a little inspiration. I don't want to come off as like, oh, it's so easy, bro, just respect yourself, dude. Like, it's hard, and I probably have it way easier than you, but let's get into it, starting with purpose. Now, purpose is a tricky one because a purpose might actually be packaged into your religion. For me, I'm agnostic, which I think means like I don't know what's going on. I claim ignorance, and I also don't really know if my life has any purpose.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine.
Or at least a predetermined one. This idea of no predetermined purpose is a big cornerstone of the philosophical way of thinking of existentialism. I consider myself an existentialist not just because it sounds cool, but because that they believe that your life has no inherent predetermined purpose, but life is a journey to figure it out. And I think that's very epic. I spawned in randomly on this planet, and you know, I had no idea what I was doing. I was pooping and peeing my pants, and my parents, you know, they raised me, and then I'm in this big world and I'm very anxious, and I get addicted to video games. I'm just like, what am I doing? I get to figure it out though. This lack of predetermined purpose gives me a chance to have any purpose. I'm almost thankful that, you know, it wasn't written in the stars, because then I wouldn't have a choice. Okay, Elliot, that's cool and stuff, but what if I don't know where to find my purpose and I just feel lost? Now, this is a tall task, and I definitely don't have the answer for you to find the purpose to your life, but I have a few places where you could start. First, I don't know where I read this, but you want to think about what you do that might feel like a job to others, but not to you. Also, think about what gets you in your flow state, where you're just completely enthralled in the present moment. Things that do that to me is being creative and like working on a project, like doing this, like I'm locked in, like I'm not thinking about dying or other such future events, and I'm definitely not thinking about the past, bro. Like, another place you could start is, if you're lucky enough to still have them, text your parents or guardians who raised you and ask them what you love to do as a kid. And this is an idea from Robert Greene's Book of Mastery, and I think it kind of stems from the fact that whatever you do and really love as a kid is gonna kind of get buried in that subconscious, and then when it's reawoken later in your life, it's gonna give you this strong, inspired, visceral feeling that's gonna give you that present flow. An example for me, I texted my parents this when I read it in the book, and they said that when I was real young, a little toddler, I loved dancing to the Dixie Chicks, and I would just, stand there and shuffle around or whatever. And now, I'm in college, and I randomly decided to take a hip-hop dance class, and I love it, and it just felt so right, and like when I dance, it just gives me that inspired, epic feeling, and I think if you look to your childhood, you'll maybe be able to make those connections to what you can do today that, brings it all together, and you're right there, and you're bang, 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 boom, cha, ting, cha. If nothing I've said about finding your purpose has really resonated so far, I think I would just recommend to keep exploring and foraging the forest of life. Because if you keep on running through and exploring, then one day you're going to trip on the twig and you're going to notice this tree and you're going to climb it, and there you will find the purpose of your life. But if you don't keep running through and trying new paths, you're probably never going to trip on that root. You're probably never going to find that tree. And then when you climb that tree, you'll see this sunbeam breaking through, the canopy of life, and there, boom, right in your soul. Bing, bing, bing. I mean, this is an extensive metaphor just to say, if you keep on putting yourself out there, you're more likely to stumble upon what you were meant to do. The last thing I want to say about purpose is that you might not necessarily be great at it when you first find it. Like dancing, for example, like I got like 5% skill, but I love it, and then that's why I think that dancing could be a part of my life purpose, like spreading my love of dance to other people and showing them how it can be fun and bring you to the present moment. And because I have this love and not necessarily the skill, I get this confidence that will push me through hard trainings and hard failures within dance, and that will one day maybe give me the skill where I can really disseminate it and show it to everybody. So yeah, you don't have to be an all-star at your purpose right away. You just have to have that love that will give you the confidence to keep going. And let's go more into confidence, because it's hard not to be your own worst critic. And I know I was for a long time. Like, I used to think I was an absolute cringe lord, and I probably still am to a lot of people. But then I saw this meme, and this meme like actually changed my life. It changed my life because it made me realize that, if somebody else thinks I'm a cringe lord, that's just a point of view. And when I think I'm a cringe lord, that's just another point of view too. It's my point of view, but your point of view and my point of view aren't facts of reality. They're points of view. And the fun thing about your own mind is that you get to pick that point of view. Like when I see myself saying, oh Ellie, you're a cringe lord and you're a failure, I get to observe that thought in my head and realize, yep, that's a point of view, that's a negative point of view, and I'm not going to listen to it. Just like I wouldn't listen to somebody else saying, oh, you're a cringe lord. Because at the end of the day, maybe I am a cringe lord, but it's negative and it doesn't feel good, and it's not going to help me find my purpose. I want growth. You might be a cringe lord on the way to your purpose, but you must have deafness to doubt. You must know that when you fall down on the ground of defeat and you're covered in the mud of loss, that you will get back up because you have the confidence to do so. Confidence is not your ego saying you're this bomb-ass bro who's like crazy at everything. It's just a part of your consciousness that says, yes, you are worth something and you can succeed if you try hard. And you back that thought up with action, and you go and you do try hard. So it's a positive feedback loop. Your actions reinforce the positive thoughts about yourself, and your positive thoughts usher in more action. But let's just say you're feeling very weak. You just feel like you don't have the strength, and you don't know direction, and you don't have that confidence. This is when the Jedi Council comes in. This is an idea from Shane Parrish's book Clear Thinking, and it's basically a tool you can use where you formulate a group of people in your head, or creatures, that are fictional, real life, dead or alive, whatever, and this council will help motivate you and make decisions when you yourself are feeling weak. And I know this kind of seems a bit out there, but it really works. Like for me, I have Aragon, Gandalf, and Sam from the Lord of the Rings. I guess mine is more like a fellowship, not a Jedi Council. But Aragon gives me the strength. He's a positive masculinity icon. Gandalf is that sage wizard. He's super wise, He sees the bigger picture in things and reminds me not to get too overworked up. And Sam? Well, Sam is the best friend that anybody could ever ask for. I have him in my mind at all times to, show me compassion. And you also give me that strength to keep going when it's really hard. I picked those characters because I've watched those movies so many times. I can readily formulate like what they would say when I'm having a hard time or need a decision made. Who would you guys put in your council that you always have there to push you and give you that confidence and remind you of that purpose? So I feel like the Jedi Council is kind of just like a backup, for when things are real tough, consult them. And so those are the three things I think that can help you get that self-respect. You find a purpose that you're willing to fight for and that gets you out of the bed in the morning. You get the confidence to find that purpose, and then once you find it, to pursue it with all your might, with all your energy, and with all your soul. And then you have a Jedi Council to consult when things are tough or you need to make a tricky decision. And so when you combine those three things, I think you'll be very content with yourself. You'll be at peace with yourself because you're doing all that you can, and you're doing it in a way where you're leaving it all out there. Once you get to that point of self-respect, I think you rest easy. I think you have more peace. So that's the formula. That's all I got for you. Let me know of anything you guys think I would be interested in learning. And yeah, peace out. And like and subscribe.